Allah is telling us something we can never afford to forget. This isn't knowledge you learn once and move on from. It will slip from your conscience again and again. You will act like you don't know it. That's why he says, you had better know. You had better come back to this realization over and over again. This single ayah is a summary of everything we run after in life. And if we truly let it sink in, it changes how we see the world. The word Allah uses for this life, adunya, comes from adna, meaning lower, the lowest possible existence. We are meant to be higher. We are meant to rise and ascend again. That is the world he is about to describe. اعلموا أنما الحياة الدنيا لعب ولهو وزينة وتفاخر بينكم وتكاثر في الأموال والأولاد. Know that worldly life is no more than play, entertainment, beautification, boasting among yourselves, and competition in wealth and children. Allah doesn't just describe this life, He gives us a command. Know it, actively, consciously, persistently know it. And what is this life in its entirety? 5 things, nothing more. First, play. A child who doesn't need a reason to be happy, he just is. Then entertainment. The Arabic word also means distraction, a way to mentally check out. Then beautification. Puberty hits and the mirror becomes everything. Then boasting. The diploma goes on the wall so everyone who walks in can see it. And finally, competition in wealth and children. Young people say they'll never be like their parents. Talk to them in 20 years. Then Allah gives us one of the most profound parables in the entire Quran. كمثل غيث أعجب الكفار نباته ثم يهيج فتراه مصفرا ثم يكون حطاما. It is like rain whose resulting growth pleases the farmers. Then it dries up and you see it turn yellow. Then it becomes debris. Perfect rain, not so much that the land floods, not so little that the plants can't grow, just right, falling on a farmer's field. The farmer looks out and sees the first tiny blades of green pushing up through the soil. He is overwhelmed with joy before anything has fully grown. He can already see the harvest. And then it matures, you watch it turn yellow, and then it becomes hutaman, crushed to dust, stepped on without a second thought. Now watch how this maps onto a single human life. You are born as a seed in the ground, pure potential. And then the perfect rain arrives, childhood, the first shoots of green, wonder, laughter, the sheer joy of being alive. A child doesn't need a reason to be happy. He just is. Then the crop grows. Adolescence. You reach for things. You fall in love for the first time. Your heart is full of green, full of possibility. You are going to change the world. Nothing feels impossible. Then comes early adulthood, the career, the marriage, the first home. You stand in the middle of your life and think, this is it. This is what I was working toward. For one brief, beautiful moment, it all feels like enough. And then it starts. The marriage that was once effortless now requires effort. The career that once excited you now exhausts you. The children who were once entirely yours are pulling away, building lives you are not the center of. You try to hold on, but the yellow keeps spreading. By the time you are old, you sit in a house that was once full of noise, and it is now quiet. Very quiet. The rooms that once held children now hold furniture no one uses. You look at photographs on the wall and remember the green, how green it once was. But what surrounds you now is yellow, almost entirely yellow. And then comes hutaman. The body slows, the memory fades. The world moves on without asking your permission. And one day they lay you in the ground, the same ground where the seed was first buried, where it all began. You came from the earth, and to the earth you return. That is the full arc of a life. That is what Allah compressed into one ayah. Not to depress you, but to wake you up. He is not saying don't enjoy the green. He is saying know that the green will not last. Know it while it is still green, so you don't spend your whole life in shock at the yellow. So what comes after Hutaman? That is exactly where the ayah ends. وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ عَذَابٌ شَدِيدٌ وَمَغْفِرَةٌ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَرِضْوَانٌ. And in the hereafter is severe punishment and forgiveness from Allah and His pleasure. Either severe punishment, the only thing no one will ever adapt to, or the forgiveness of Allah, which is permanent. And he adds Ridwan, not just pleasure, but immense lasting contentment. You will finally be satisfied. You will not be looking for the next thing. In this world, it doesn't matter what you buy, what you achieve. You will always come out waiting for the next one. In Jannah, we will finally be at peace. What Allah is calling us toward is not happiness, it is contentment. The Quran calls it skina, the stillness of a heart that is no longer anxious about the next thing. And then there is tama'nina. ألا بذكر الله تطمئن القلوب. Verily, in the remembrance of Allah do hearts find rest. Remembering Allah doesn't just mean repeating His name. It means remembering the right truth about Him at the right moment. When someone hurts you, remember that Allah knows exactly what was said to you, exactly how it landed, exactly the pain it caused. Human beings search their whole lives for someone who truly understands them. With Allah, you will always find it. وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا مَتَاعُ الْغُرُورِ. And worldly life is nothing but the enjoyment of delusion. Until then, we will always be chasing. May Allah help us recognize what true happiness really means, and may He help us find it through real faith in Him alone. Ameen.